Hey, what is going on YouTube? In today's video, we're going to cover another Minecraft server tutorial on AWS, but more specifically, we're going to dive into a modded server. And the reason being because when I had created this video a few weeks back, I had created a few Minecraft videos on this channel. Definitely be sure to check it out. But someone did request that this be the same thing, but using mods. So I want to get that video out for those that are interested, and that's what we're going to cover today. And more specifically, we're also going to use CloudFormation to set up the stack, and that's going to give us the ability to pretty much set up our server with ease and allow you guys to get right into the server just by adding your mods. So first, we'll cover the CloudFormation piece. So for those that are not familiar with it, CloudFormation is pretty much infrastructure as code, allowing you to provision your environment just by using a YAML file. So in this file, we're going to have just some syntax or some declarations of resources that we're going to set up. So in this case, the very first one is a parameter, and that's going to be a key name. So this is going to be the only prereq that you will have or that you will need in order to set this up. So before you go ahead and start provisioning this CloudFormation template, which I will show you in a minute, you will need to create a key pair, and that will allow you to get into your EC2 instance. Next, we're going to look at creating a security group, and this is going to be an ingress security group or an ingress rule for this security group, and it's going to allow the Minecraft default port and SSH. So 25565 from and 2, and then we're going to go ahead and enable port 22. Next, we're going to set up a Minecraft S3 Bucket, and this is what we're going to use in order to place our mods and pull the mods from into our EC2 instance. And in this case, we're just going to name it Minecraft mods, followed by the account ID and region. This is not necessary, but just kind of getting the point across on how you could set it up. Then you got your Minecraft S3 access role. So what this is going to do is we're going to create a role so we could later use an instance profile and assign it to our EC2 instance. And it's going to assume that role so we could get right into our bucket and pull down our mods using the AWS CLI. And that, again, that's going to be all defined in this CloudFormation template. So here is that role. So if we go down here, we're going to allow, here's going to be the service that we are doing. So EC2, assume role. Here's the policy name. These are the actions that we are going to allow. So we're going to allow get object and list object. So using the CLI, we'll be able to pull down our objects. And that's pretty much it for that. Obviously, this is actually important. So the resource, obviously, we want to make sure that we're defining this guy up here. Minecraft instance profile. Like I just mentioned, this is what we're going to need in order to assign that to our EC2 instance. So you'll see here, here's our EC2 instance. Instance type, this is going to be a big one. T2 large, you could, for playing around, you can do T2 micro, but you're going to run into a lot of issues. So I would suggest at least doing a T2 large if you're going to start putting mods on this and playing with some friends. Key name, as we discussed earlier, this is going to reference the key name up here at the top, the parameter that we define. So you will not be able to get by anyway because it is defined as a parameter and it is required. So you will need that, and it will tell you to. Security groups, it's going to be the one that we had just defined. Here's the instance profile I was just talking about, and that's going to allow us to assume that role to pull down those mods from the S3 bucket. Image ID, this is going to be an Ubuntu AMI. And then the most important part, well, one of the most important parts, I guess, is going to be this user data. Now, what this allows us to do is it allows us to run bash commands essentially. So as you can see here, it's just a bin bash, and it's pretty much like a script, and it's going to run it line by line. So in this case, this is going to allow us, it's going to set up the repository so we can go ahead and install a few packages. In this case, we want to install the Java 21 JDK, and then we got unzip and curl, which I think is installed by default, but whatever. The reason being is because we want to install the AWS CLI, and that's what we're going to do here. So we're just going to do curl, and we're going to output it to a zip file, unzip it, and install it. Create that mod folder and download from S3. But this actually, we're not going to be using it this time. So we could actually delete this because we don't have the mods. So we'll delete that. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to create a Minecraft folder, and that's going to be in the opt directory or the optional directory with the P option defined. And then we're going to go, you actually don't need this because opt already exists, but anyway, download Forge installer. So this is going to be from the minecraftforge.net. What I did is I found a specific version that I wanted, and I right-clicked it, copy link address, and then I pasted it here. And we're going to use wget to get that address or to get that file. And then we're going to use the -o option to output it inside of that Minecraft folder. So we'll have forge-installer.jar inside of that Minecraft folder we had just created. Last but not least, we're going to go ahead and run that. So we're going to cd into that directory, and then we're just going to run java-jar, the jar file that we had just downloaded, and then with the option install server. And that's because it is not a graphical interface. Otherwise, you will get some errors. All right, so first, before we go ahead and open up or create that stack, we're going to go into our EC2, and then if you go down to key pairs down here on the left, this is where you're going to go ahead and create it. I already have mine created, but if you go ahead, create pair, enter your name, RSA, PPK, and then create key pair. That'll also download the private key, and it'll also store the public key here. All right, so then next we're going to go back into our CloudFormation tab, and we're going to go ahead and create a stack, and we're going to do with new resources, choose an existing template, upload a template file, and I'm just going to pause it here and upload this file. This will be in the GitHub. I think it'll be GitHub repository, and I'll have that in the description below. And that's everything we had just discussed. Go next. Here, specify a stack name. This is the parameter I mentioned. So this would be the key pair. Select test or whatever one that you had defined. And then you're going to just scroll down to the bottom, leave everything else by default, and then acknowledge this checkbox down here. And then you can go ahead and click on submit. All right, while that is loading, we're going to just kind of give you a brief walkthrough or while this is creating. So the next thing that you want to do is we're going to pretty much download. Well, we're going to do a few things, but one of the things that we're going to be doing is going to be downloading these mods. So I just used one of the mods that I remembered when I used to play a lot more of Minecraft. It would be the falling tree mod. There's a few other mods that are similar, but it allows you to pretty much break down the tree with one hit. That's pretty cool. But for this video, it is easy enough to kind of explain. So there are some requirements different than what I remember, but it essentially had me download a few other mods. Although it says this is optional, it also said there's something else required. But in any case, find the mod that you want. Make sure it's compatible with it. Go to Files and then find that is the mod loaders. Make sure that it has Forge. In this case, we're using Forge. If you have Fabric or NeoForge, it's something that we could discuss in a further video or in a future video. Make sure you find the correct version, and then just go ahead and click that and click on download file. So grab the mods that you need, place it in a directory, and then we will place it in the S3 bucket once it is created. All right, so I went over to S3 and I found that my Minecraft mods is created. All right, so next go ahead, click on that bucket, click on upload, and then upload the 3 mods or any number of mods that you would like. In this case, these are the 3 that I'm using for this example. Click on upload. All right, so that's uploaded. Go back to our stack, see if it's done yet. All right, once our stack is finished, completed, you'll also see if you go to outputs, you should have those 2 outputs that are defined in that YAML file. Here's the public IP address that we need to connect to, and here's the Minecraft mods bucket. Then we're going to go over to our EC2 instance, and we're going to find the one that is running, and we're going to jump into that server. So go ahead and click on that, click on connect. Since you have the private key pair, you could also connect to it from your PowerShell or whatever, your Linux server. But in this case, I'm just going to use EC2 instance connect. Once we get into the server, we're going to head over to that Minecraft folder that we had just defined or created. And in there, we're going to have the jar files to start setting up this server. All right. One thing to note, sometimes I've seen it once or twice now in this testing. So in that YAML file, I already run the jar install server command. But for whatever reason, if you come into this folder and using this CloudFormation template and you do not see run sh or any of the other ones, I would go ahead and just rerun that command with the install server option to make sure you get these all these files. Next, you're going to use sudo permissions, and we're just going to go ahead and run that script there, that bash script. That's going to fail because it's going to have us update this user agreement. So we'll go ahead and again do sudo vim, and then we'll go in there and we're just going to modify to say true, saying that we agree. And then we're gonna run that same thing one more time. And that's gonna take a minute, so we'll just let that run through. All right, you get some errors because by default, the server.properties is not there, and that'll pop an error. So usually what I do is I run that after agreeing to that agreement, and I'll just go ahead and remove, with sudo permissions, I'll remove the world, and I'll also remove the config folder. The reason being because it had just started creating a world, and we don't have any of our mods or anything loaded. So if you have like a server mod and you already have this world and configuration in place, then those mods will not be loaded. All right, so now that we have those deleted, we list out the contents of this directory. You can see that we no longer have world or the config folder, and we do have a mods folder. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and run, so this is already installed using the CloudFormation template that we had talked about earlier. So do AWS S3 sync, and then we're going to do head over to the S3 bucket. We're going to copy that destination. This is going to obviously be different for you. And then head over into our EC2 instance again, paste that in there, and then go ahead and just select the mods folder. It's going to need sudo, I forgot, so do sudo. All right, and then now if we list out the mods folder, you can see that we have 3 files in there. Make sure that you leave the zip file, don't unzip it or anything like that. And before starting this server, the next thing that I want to do is modify the script or the arguments. So if you go ahead and read out the run script, you're going to see in there that it is actually using the arguments.txt file. So if we edit that file using sudo, you're going to see that we have this line here. This is uncomment. The next line to set it to uncomment, remove it. Oh wait, that's not even what I mean. A good default for modded servers 4 gigabytes. Do not allocate excessive amounts of RAM. It's too much, cause lag or crashes. So that is exactly what we're going to do. Is we're going to just bump this up to 8 because that's what we have by default on this server with a T2 large or T4 large, whatever it was. Otherwise, you'll get some lag if it's too low, and then as I mentioned, if it's too high, you get some lag as well. But 8 is perfect. And now we could go ahead and, since we have those mods loaded, we're going to go run that script again, and that should kick off that server process. All right. Next, what you want to do is we're going to go ahead and download the client side, which I already have done, but I'll show you how to do it. So head over to the CurseForge website. In this case, I'm using version 1.21, and then you're going to go ahead and click on the installer. Once you open up that installer, you will get this option here. Click on install client and leave everything else by default. I already have this installed. Once that is done, you're going to open up your mods folder, and you're going to place those same mods that we had just put in the S3 bucket, but put it into your mods folder on your client side. Now, this is not always necessary. I do it by default because I don't know which ones are clients, which ones are server mods. So that's what I do by default. So to do that, you could go ahead and open up this file here. So it's just going to be under app data, roaming, Minecraft, and mods. An easy way to do that is if you do the parentheses app data, and in there you will find that Minecraft folder, and then you could go ahead and add those mods to that folder. All right, so boot up your Minecraft, and then over here, you're going to see your different installations. So if you go ahead, make sure that you find or select that right one. In this case, it's going to be 1.21. Also, if you go here at the top, installations, one thing that I will note, another thing to change, if you run into some issues, go down to that file, click on more options, and then you're going to go ahead and adjust your JVM arguments here. And this is for the client side. So if you find that your server, there's also a debug option in here, but if you feel like your client's not keeping up with your server, but your server should be fine, I would definitely go ahead and up this depending on what you have on your computer. And then go back to play, and then we'll just go ahead and launch that Forge server or Forge client. All right, so now that we have it online, you can go into your mods, and you're going to verify that those mods are loaded. Go to done, and we're going to go right into multiplayer, and we're going to do direct connect, And now we're going to go back into our EC2 instances and we're going to find our public IP address. So in this case, it's going to be this one right here. So 548368.218. And as I said at the beginning of this video, the rules for that port is already created. So it's saying that from any IP address, they should be able to access 255.65 inbound and port 22 inbound. This is less than ideal, honestly, this 22. So I would probably actually delete this for if you're going to keep this up and running, but for testing purposes, this is fine. The reason why I say that is because you don't want people to start getting into your Minecraft server, the actual console using SSH and trying to brute force it in. So I would definitely remove that or tailor this down. You definitely don't want to remove that, but tailor this down maybe to your IP address or something like that. Make this more restrictive. Or at least make sure that it's not password authentication and only use key authentication, which we could talk about in a different video. So with that, now we're going to grab that public IP address. So go back to details, grab that public IP address and open up that client again. And we're just going to paste it in, join server, and we should be right in. All right, looks like we're good to go. So just to show you that the mod works, we got to cut down one tree or a piece of a tree. And we'll be able to build an axe, and once we build that axe, we'll be able to chop down the tree instantaneously. Now there is configurations for this mod. It's not the point of this video, but you could definitely play around with the mods that you download. All right, and then we're just going to go ahead, create a crafting table, create some sticks. All right, and once we chop down this first block, you should see that the tree disappears. All right, that's going to close out today's video. I hope you were able to take something away. In this video, we covered again a Minecraft AWS tutorial, but we covered a different way of going about it using the CloudFormation and defining the various resources and stuff like that inside of that template to pretty much provision your infrastructure using code. That's definitely the way to go, especially if you are learning AWS or any other cloud. Using some kind of infrastructure as code is definitely the way to be. So yes, I hope you're able to take something away. As always, never stop learning.